Good morning. Welcome to Winnipeg. A few minutes ago I was looking at my manual and I was realizing that there is pretty much nothing left to do. Well, almost nothing. Okay, what we do have to do is put the B16s on the bottom of this tray, which will I believe simulate handholds for getting the tray down into the deck, and that is these pieces right here. Okay, they have to go on the side of the tray, and I'm hoping that they're going to fit, because I may not have gotten the connections for the legs exactly in the right place, and if they're in the wrong place, then I'm going to have to reposition where these handholds will go. But from the perspective of the viewer or observer, whatever you want to call it, they're not going to know if they're a millimeter too high or too low. So we'll give it a try, but that's going to be the last thing. Then we are done. Step 60, except for things like scraping the seam on this. This is the way I get rid of a seam, and then I will sand it. I got a feeling we're not going to be able to see it anyway. Okay. Let's recompose here. Max was over for coffee last night with Missy. Can you believe it? I still got little flies in the kitchen. That was what that snap was that you heard. Very, very few though. Very, very few. So I suppose what's going to happen now, my fly zapper is going to be going off every single time I press record. Anyway, Max was over last night with Missy around 6:30 in the evening, and he mentioned that he was going to most likely be here this morning, and he's slowly getting himself back to normal. Speaking of getting ourselves back to normal, it's minus 22.9. That's kind of normal for this time of year. So I'm hoping that we're not going to be getting a bunch of snow. Although I did read somewhere where there's a Colorado low moving into Manitoba. Now I don't know if that was old news or what. I hope it was old news. Well, when we have a Colorado low, we usually don't have real cold temperatures, so there's something wrong here. All right, we are basically ready to get going here. And I do believe that we're going to be flipping the page before the end of the day. Max said that if he remembers, he's going to bring that card. Remember a couple of days ago, there was a card came to him in the mail, and I took it over to his place. Well, that card actually came at a very good time, because Max was feeling, you might say, poorly, and it had actually cheered him up. So yeah, he's gonna bring it. We're not gonna read it to you, but I mean, at least you get to see the card. Making a mountain out of a molehill, aren't I here? Let's recompose and glue our B16s onto the bottom of this tray. Now I've already checked, and it doesn't matter which way these go. The little pegs are symmetrical, and you can see here that the pegs are supposed to plug into, where's my pointer? These holes. And I don't think we'll have a problem getting it into this one. But this particular leg is not in the right place. It's too much this way. The one on the other side is in the right place. But we will be viewing this part from the other side. I think what I'm going to have to do is grab these with the helping hands and turn them so we can let gravity be our friend, and this part will just sort of lay there. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab hold of this and tilt it very carefully. I don't want to be accidentally breaking these off. These connections are extremely delicate, as you can well imagine. Okay, we're going to want to adjust it so that this surface right here that it's going to lay on is going to be horizontal. That way it's not going to want to slide off. I think that's pretty much it. And, oh, by the way, I've turned this thing around so that we are now working on the good side. The side that is not so good, I'll zoom in a bit here. The side that is not so good, I will do probably off camera, because it may take a little tweaking. Okay, so we got to try and get I wonder if I should maybe turn it just a tiny bit more here. Just sort of doing a dry run. Maybe these tweezers aren't the best to use. Okay, now we basically got it in place. We just have to rotate it to my left about 90 degrees so that the pegs will go into the holes. Where's the other tweezers gone? Maybe these ones aren't going to work either. I can't think of any better way to do this. I'd like to have it, just set in place and then let melding what if I was to just do one end at a time? Grab onto it from the end here. You know what? Maybe these aren't symmetrical. Oh yeah. Oh, come on. You know what? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to press stop here. I did way too much of this sort of thing yesterday. And the video went on and on and on with me frustrating myself and everybody else. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to push stop until I finally get it. Okay, I have worked on this now for about 10 minutes. And I am, you might say, exasperated. I'm thinking that these pegs do not have to be in those holes. I think that what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this part and I'm going to cut the pegs off. And then I'm just going to lay it across, and where it makes contact on these ribs, or whatever you call them, these flanges, we're just going to glue it to the flanges and forget about trying to get it to the pegs glued into the holes. We're not going to notice anyway. I know that those of you who are perfectionists would probably work at this until you finally got it. Or maybe we could glue one end one peg in and let it dry, and then do the other two. You know, I could probably do that too, but you know, there's only so much I'm going to be willing to put into this thing here, because if this hobby becomes a source of frustration, what's the point? Got to keep it fun. It's not like it's something you have to do. Other people might look at it different, and for you, that your way is right. But I think my way is right for me, and I'm just going to cut those pegs off. Okay. I want to be careful I don't break this thing. Alright, I've got another one now. Get it perfectly perpendicular here. And the closer I nip, okay, I know there's still some there, but because I can feel it. Okay, and the last one. Okay, now I'm going to do the other part the same way. Then we'll glue it in place. Okay, I'm basically looking straight down on this now. And this is actually the first time I'm doing this since I nipped off those little connections. And I'll move you in. I changed lenses. Alrighty. This is going much better. As I said, I'm looking straight down on it. I want to make sure that the part is going to be parallel with the tray here. Okay, now we should be able to just let melding do its thing here. Got a little hair on there. Once this is painted, we're not going to see that excess glue, which most of it will evaporate anyway. This is the extra thin, by the way. Okay, I don't think I need to put any more. I think we probably, it looks to me like, maybe this one's not Yeah, it's making contact. Okay, let's not go poking at it now and get everything out of whack. It could be that it's supposed to go just a little bit this way. Oh. I better, I pretty much got it there. Okay, let's quit while we're ahead. Hello, Missy. Good morning, Max.
You told me. Ron.
Yes, I phoned you. I was going to say take your time.
Oh, okay. Did you see where I was when you phoned me?
I phoned when I saw you come out of the house.
You can't operate a cell phone with gloves on.
I found out that.
And the windshield is minus 40.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. Here you go.
Poor Missy was 3-footing it.
It's cold. It is cold. I can feel cold little feet on my legs.
Not fit weather for man and beast.
No.
So, minus 40 Celsius wind chill is the same as minus 40 Fahrenheit wind chill.
Yeah, that's right.
So wind chill in Canada today is the same as in the United States. If there was anywhere, maybe Alaska would be this cold. Probably not. Alaska is surrounded by ocean, and that can make the weather quite temperate. But in the mountains of Alaska, it can get cold.
I would think so, yeah.
Anchorage, not so much, but up Nome, one of the coldest places on Earth, I think. Even Whitehorse, was less than 100 miles from the ocean, as the crow flies.
Okay. Well, hey, Missy, there's one more. There's one more here. There you go. Yeah. And thank you for coming, Missy, on this very cold morning. Yeah.
It's not very often that she 3-foots it. We only went as far as Cassie's. Thanks, Ron.
Okay, we'll see ya. Oh my, it is cold out there. Woo. Missy the dog. Missy the dog. All right. Now, as I have said so many times in the past, life is what happens to you while you're making other plans. And the plan had been we were going to look at the card. Now, Max forgot to bring it, but he said he's going to remember for tomorrow morning, all being well. Okay, we got this piece finished up, as you've seen. We're going to have to find a very safe place for it. The pipe, I've got it scraped, sanded, and wiped off. It's pretty good. So that's done. Now, step 60 is also done. There's nothing left to do here except paint these parts. Now, step 61, I'm just wondering if we could maybe be painting these parts at the same time as we do those, because I think they'll probably be the same color. I'm noticing here now the C22 gets stuck on the side of, in fact, all of these pieces get stuck into the clear hull. You know, I want to leave this cone thing clear. But now, how is this going to look? If this is painted, you know, gray, probably the 66, and this piece, I guess I'm gonna have to think about that. I think it'll look all right. I think it'll look all right. Anyway, let's get our parts here. We need 2, 4, 6, 7. There's probably another C22 goes on the other side here. Maybe it shows it in step 62. We'll worry about that later. We'll find it and paint it and get it done. Yeah, I don't want to get too far behind in my painting, or I might accidentally be painting something the wrong color. Now the propellers obviously are not going to be painted gray. They'll be painted some sort of gold color, I guess. Something unique I noticed on the propellers here. Maybe what I should do is be moving in and show it to you. And I think it has, at first I thought it was the way they had designed the propeller, but then I realized that doesn't make any sense. So why don't I just recompose here and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is the way it's going to turn to drive the sub forward. And when I first looked at this propeller, many days ago actually, I was seeing this thing right here. Okay, see that? And at first I thought it must have been somebody's idea thinking to make the propeller more streamlined. And then I realized that when the propeller is turning this way, that is actually going to be, you might say, cupping the water. And, you know, it would have an adverse effect. And then I thought, you know what, I'll bet that had to do with the molding. I bet they had to mold it that way. I'm just wondering if a person is supposed to, excuse me, be taking and sanding this down so that it's, you know, completely round. But I'm not going to try it, though, because I'll probably make a mess of it. But anyway, that is not correct. Obviously, that's not correct. I'm sure that the real sub did not have this. And if it did, it would be the other way, so that when the propeller turned like this part would not be cupping the water. Okay, just a little point of interest here. We are up to minus 20.5 degrees Celsius. Yeah, it's warming up. Okay, a little while ago when I was at the computer, I was editing everything out, and I had to get the files out of the camera, and these video files they're quite wordy because I shoot them at 4K 60 frames a second 10-bit. They're pretty big files, so it takes a while, as much as 2-3 minutes sometimes, and sometimes longer. Anyway, I'm sitting there and I figured, okay, I got time to kill here. Why don't I check my email? So I checked my email. Well, we got an email from Ryan at Eliminator Hobby. Guess what's here? Yeah, the Enterprise is here. So I stopped what I was doing more or less, and I phoned them up, and Lori answered the phone. And if you want to know who Lori is, do you remember last summer we took the motorcycle and we went out to Eliminator on the bike, and we bought this thing. Yeah. And Lori was that friendly girl that you saw that I talked to there. Anyway, where am I going with this? So bottom line is, the Enterprise is ready to be picked up. It's all paid for and everything. I just have to go get it, which I probably am going to do, but not today, because it's my car doesn't look like it's too buried with snow, but I on the other side of the windshield there's this hard packed drift. Otherwise I could. If it was a little warmer, I'd plug in my car warmer. It'd probably melt it to the point where I could shove it off. But we'll wait. This coming week is going to be nice, or nicer, and we'll have some warmer days. And we'll get the old Enterprise here on the model table, and we'll check her out. Anyway, yeah. So thank you, Eliminator. Eliminator brought it in. The price was there was no lower price anywhere in Canada, and when I was on the bike, I think I was doing a little voiceover, and I think I said something to the effect of, "We are so lucky here in Winnipeg to have a store like that," and I personally am extra lucky because it's not that far from here. What is it? I think it was 11 minutes on the motorcycle. I won't be picking up the Enterprise with a motorcycle, I'll tell you that. Anyhow, yeah, I'm so excited I can hardly talk. Anyway, I'm going to call it quits here for today, folks. Thanks for watching, everybody. And all being well, we'll see you tomorrow.